Salutations, my dearest friends. My name is Samantha, and today I'm going to be talking about some romance series that I need to finish. Hello, how are you? Welcome or welcome back to my channel, and welcome back to Vlogmas. I'm posting a video every single day in the month of December, and it's a lot, but I'm having a lot of fun. I hope you guys are enjoying the videos so far. Today, we're going to be talking about some romance book series that I just need to finish. Like, I started it, but I just haven't completed the series. And I like to call these books like my break in case of emergency books, because like I'm enjoying the series. I love the series. I want to know how it ends, but I don't want it to end. These are instances where I'm really enjoying the books and it's not like I'm not enjoying them. That's not the reason I haven't finished them yet. I haven't finished them yet because I love them so much that the idea of completing the series and it being over just makes me sad. And I'm an emotional, like moody reader. I tend to just read whatever I'm feeling in the moment, and I tend to get into book slumps quite often, like phases where I just don't want to read anything, and like I'll start a book and DNF it, or I'll start an audiobook and just not like vibe with the narrator. So I always rely on these types of books whenever I'm feeling that, because they kind of like get me back into the groove of reading. All right, the first one that is literally taking me ages, and I literally mean ages, to finish is the Hathaway series by Lisa Kleypas. Lisa Kleypas has such an extensive backlist, and I like desperately want to do a guide to Lisa Kleypas, but I just love her books so much and I cherish them, and I don't like to read them back to back. I like to like space them out and just enjoy them, and the Hathaway series is one of my favorites. So this is Mine Till Midnight, which is the first book. It features Cameron, who is like the ultimate book boyfriend. If I had to pick a second favorite Lisa Kleypas book other than Again the Magic, which you guys know is like my all-time favorite, this is it. I just love Cameron. So it follows Amelia, who is the eldest sister in her family. Her family has recently inherited a title and this really run-down establishment that they're trying to build a home for themselves. She's trying to take care of her siblings after her father passed away. Cameron kind of comes in to help her. We see Cameron sprinkled throughout the Wallflower series as well. He's friends with a lot of the characters in the Wallflower series, so if you've read that series, this is a really good one too, because they all sort of connect. Love this book so much. I've read it like 3 times, and I don't know why, but like I just am saving the next 3 books in the series. So this one is Seduce Me at Sunrise. Their relationship is kind of teased in the first book. They're basically childhood friends. Heroine, when she was younger, she got sick and she had been ill for a really long time, so our hero has always kind of taken care of her, and because they grew up together, although they're not related, they feel kind of like a kinship to each other, and they've never really taken their romance to the next step, but in this book they explore their relationship with one another, so it's kind of like a friends to lovers situation. I've made it halfway through this book, and for whatever reason I loved it so much and just didn't finish it. Like, again, my logic doesn't make sense, but I'm like, I know I'm gonna love this. I know it's gonna ruin me. Lisa Kleypas is just so good, and like I want to cherish this series. So I will get to the Hathaway series. I know it's like a lot of people's favorites, but I haven't finished it yet. Believe it or not, I have not finished the Wicked Wallflower series by Christy Caldwell. I talk about this series a ridiculous amount. It's one of my favorite series ever, but I haven't finished it. And again, it's one of those instances where like Christy Caldwell quickly became one of my favorite historical romance authors. I found her on Kindle Unlimited, and then my parents were so gracious enough to gift me these books for my birthday in June, so that's how long I've had these copies. And I just like, I don't want the series to end, because I think it's so unique and underrated when it comes to historical romances, and like I cherish these. So I've actually read all of the books except one. So I read The Hellion, which was the first book in the series. It's a Romeo and Juliet retelling, an enemies to lovers situation. Those are heroine Cleopatra. She is a part of a family that owns a gambling hell, and then our hero Adair, his family also owns a gambling hell, so they're rivals. Adair's family actually owes Cleopatra's family a favor, so she ends up staying with them as she is entering her first season of London. Her brother wants her to marry someone who's titled so they can get status and money and all that jazz. Adair does not trust Cleopatra as far as he can throw her, so he ends up being like her self-appointed bodyguard, and they end up falling for each other. Our heroine in this book is super sassy, super independent, and I fell in love. So I love this series so much. So I read The Hellion, read The Vixen, which is the second book in the series. This is a second chance romance. It features one of the sisters. She ends up meeting someone from her past who is now a cop who is investigating something in their gambling hell. It does have some quite heavy trigger warnings for child abuse and sexual assault, just so you know going in, but I think that the author handled it very well and it was very well written. So I read this one, and then I've also read The Governess, which features the brother. I don't want to talk about all the synopsis because I feel like it's kind of spoilers, but it features their brother, and this one is kind of like a friends to lovers romance. It was really good. It kind of like matches my shirt and my nails and my eyes. A vibe. I didn't mean to do that. And then I've also read The Spitfire, which this one is an opposites attract as well. So our heroine is a lady of the night, a madam, if you will, a prostitute. I don't know what verbiage we want to use here. So meeting our hero in the streets of London. He is badly beaten by some people who are trying to rob him. She ends up not only saving him but nursing him back to health, but they do part ways. They end up meeting again because our hero is a duke and he is a part of Parliament, and he unknowingly sends her a cease and desist letter to close down her opera house that she's trying to run. So she's real pissed at the fact that he is trying to close her business after she helped him. Our hero in this book is a cinnamon roll hero. He's a virgin hero who's saving himself for marriage, which is like the sweetest thing ever. I can't get enough of it. Ironically, this is the last book in the series, and it was my favorite, and it was the first one that I read. I could say that you could read this one as a standalone because these characters are more so side characters, but the first 3 books I would say you have to read in order. And then last but not least is the one book that I haven't finished, and that is the Blue Stocking. This features another one of the sisters of the Caloran family, and it kind of continues with the same plot that the first, second, and third book had. This is the 4th one. I haven't finished this one because it's the last book in the series. I literally read these back to back to back. I read the audiobooks, I've read the physical books. I literally have reread this one like twice now, I think, but for whatever reason, I haven't finished this one, and I mean to, so there you go. I feel like that was a really long-winded explanation. Like, I was trying to give you the synopsis for all of these books without giving you spoilers, and I was talking really fast. I'm sorry. I'm gonna do a whole video on this series once I finish it, I promise. So those are like the historical romances I desperately need to finish. The next one I've talked about in some video is the Bake Shop Mystery Series by Ellie Alexander. I love Ellie Alexander. This is a cozy mystery series. If you guys aren't familiar with cozy mysteries, I do have a ton of videos on my channel kind of explaining it. The best way I can explain it is it's so wholesome. It kind of reminds me of like Hallmark movies. It usually follows an amateur sleuth who is somehow involved in a murder, and it usually takes place in like a small town or something cozy like that, and they have to like figure out who committed the murder. The Bake Shop Mystery Series by Ellie Alexander is a baking cozy mystery that follows our main character Juliet. Lives in a small town in Oregon that is known for their Shakespeare festival. They have a theater that is all Shakespeare inspired, a bar that's all Shakespeare inspired, and then she and her mother own a bakery that is Shakespeare inspired. Do you see a theme here? Anyways, in the very first book, Meet Your Baker, our heroine Juliet is having some marital problems. She used to be a cruise chef, but she ends up coming back home and helping her mom with the bakery as she kind of like finds herself and figures out what she's going to do with her marriage. And of course, bum bum bum, there is a murder in like all of these books, and she's involved and has to find out who committed the murder. And it's cozy and it's sweet, and it was like the first cozy mystery series that I read, so I just don't want it to end because it's just amazing. So I've already read the first 4 books in this series. I've read Meet Your Baker, Caught Red-Handed, On Thin Icing, and A Matter of Life and Death. Dun dun dun. I read all 4 of those, and I gave all of them except 1 5 stars. I gave 1 3 stars just because it was a little slow moving, but I mean, it's a long series, so that's bound to happen. But now I'm on the 5th book. This one is called Fudge and Jury. All I know is that it takes place during like a chocolate festival. Julia and her mom are like competing at this chocolate festival to get some money for their bakery, and there's a murder, as there is always in cozy mysteries. So I just want to finish this one because I really do enjoy Ellie Alexander's writing. She's quite possibly like the sweetest person on the planet. I follow her on her social media and she's so stinking sweet. I love her vibes. She's just as cozy and sweet and wholesome as her books are. So yeah, I need to finish this series. I really do. Okay, the last series that I have yet to finish is a series on Kindle Unlimited. It is the Magic of Discovery series by Britt Andrews. This one I was so deeply like entranced with. This was like my, no, I wouldn't say my introduction, but it was one of the first reverse harem books that I read, and I loved it. So it follows our heroine, who is a green witch. She can kind of like control plants and greenery, and she's all about like healing and all that jazz, all that jazz. She lives in this super small town, and again, this is a reverse harem. I think she has like 6 love interests. My brain is like blinking right now, but I'm pretty sure she has 6 love interests, and it is sword crossing. And if you don't know what sword crossing is, it basically means that our heroes also have an intimate relationship. It's not just with the heroine, and some of the heroes in this book have like prior relationships with each other. Any hoozles. This group of heroes come into this small town. They work for like this agency that helps people, I don't know how to explain it. It helps people like learn about their powers. Like everyone is born with a certain power. Our heroine is a green witch. One of our heroes is a shapeshifter. Another of our heroes controls fire. Another of our heroes controls like lightning and thunder. And it's like all types of different powers. So they work with this agency to help people like hone in and control their powers. But they also hunt down people who are abusing their powers. How many times am I gonna get to say powers? It's sent on this mission to find someone in this small town, and they end up meeting our heroine, and they're instantly drawn to each other, have some wild times, and kind of form like a polyamorous relationship. There's a fated mates trope. There's a prophecy in this book. There's a little bit of a BDSM situation going on here, a little bit of enemies to lovers, like literally anything you could want in a romance is in this book. So many tropes, so many characters. It's a long series. I think there's like 5 books in the series, and I'm pretty sure I've read the first 3. What happened with this book was I started reading it when it wasn't completely finished, so the author was still writing it and releasing it on Kindle Unlimited, and then once I got to like the point where I was waiting for the next book, I stopped and I read other stuff, and I just haven't gotten back to the series. But I loved the series. I thought it was great. It's a great reverse harem series, so I just need to go back and finish it, really. Those are some romance series that I need to finish. I'm saving them for a rainy day. They're my break in case of emergency books, but really, I just need to finish them because I know I'm gonna love them. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys are enjoying Vlogmas so far. If you guys have any series that you really like, leave a comment down below so I can read them. That's it. As always, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to spend time with me. It means the world to me. I hope you guys are all staying happy and healthy, and I'll see you next time. Bye!